Good afternoon. I hope that you're all well and safe, and like me, raring to get back to playing golf. The last 7 weeks have truly tested our resolve, and I believe that the oncoming weeks and months will be somewhat easier, but still be challenging. Again, if we all work together and we're all forgiving with each other, we'll get through this and come out of it stronger together. Northwood Golf Club was recently voted as the #1 golf club in Middlesex. The last 2 months has proved this to me, even though we've been closed and unable to play golf. In my humble opinion, we have the best course in Middlesex, we have the best membership in Middlesex, and we have the best governance structure in Middlesex. So why do I say this? Number one, the majority of our green staff have been furloughed for the past few months. However, the 3 staff that we've kept on in employment have continued to manage and present our course immaculately. So much so that the general public regularly used our course over the last 7 weeks as part of their daily exercise. Some even commented on the presentation of the course and the natural beauty and wildlife that it provides. At this point, I would like to thank the general public for respecting our course and to remind them to stay on the public footpaths for their own safety as the course is now open for play. Number 2, I would like to personally thank those members who have renewed their membership and those who have made a commitment to stay with the golf club even though they're facing financial challenges at this time. We've had daily Zoom meetings with members, and I would like to thank all of those who have taken time to attend and participate in these meetings. This has been a great opportunity to get together and to stay up to date, learn what's happening at the course, and for us, as part of the management team, we've had an invaluable resource so that we have a steering group that's guiding us so that we can make the best decisions for our golf club. Thank you to those members who've embraced our social media and posted their desert island discs and cooking videos. Budding poets and quiz masters also deserve a mention, as does the member who's been making face masks to sell for the Captain's charity, Michael Sobel Peace Hospice. Thank you to all those who will be out over the next few days helping to get our course ready for Friday. I would also like to take a few moments to pay my respects to the members that have passed away over the last few months. In my last video, I talked about mental well-being, and this continues to be a concern. So again, I would encourage you to look at mind.org.uk for information and advice for personal use and to help others. I'd also like to thank everyone who's taken time out to contact fellow members during this difficult time. Number 3, my fellow directors have worked tirelessly over the last few months to come up with appropriate strategies for subscription, reopening the golf course, and the day-to-day running of our golf club. Each and every one of them has contributed fully using their immense skill set. So I'd like to thank them from the bottom of my heart. You really are fabulous to work with. Real privilege for me. Thank you. A special thanks goes out to our club captain and lady captain who have continued to promote the golf club and their collective charity. Later on, Adam, our club captain, will go through safety measures that we have prepared to ensure that you, our members, and our staff can enjoy their time at the golf club. Graham, Caroline, and James Hamilton deserve a big mention for creating, editing, and posting our videos and communication on our website and Facebook. You really have been superb. Thank you. And finally, our general manager, Ray Grant, in true Navy fashion, has led from the front from the very beginning. I know that other golf club managers have taken on several of his initiatives. So, if you're thinking or considering as to whether you should renew your membership, or if you're looking to join Northwood Golf Club, you now know why it's the #1 golf club in Middlesex. Thank you very much.
Hi everybody. You may hopefully by now have seen this Return to Golf document. It was attached in the middle of last night by Ray Grant to one of the many newsletters. And this describes how we're going to re-engage from Friday morning at 7:30 in the first phase of our reopening. Just in case you haven't had a chance to read it, or if you prefer to absorb information through video and audio, I thought I'd attempt to give you a FAQ, frequently asked questions, version of this document. So the first question you may ask is, when and how often am I able to play in this first phase? And I'll summarise that briefly as follows. 2 balls only are allowed at this point in time, and it must be just social golf. If you want to play for money, feel free to donate money to the captain's charity instead of exchanging cash between you, as others have already given an example that they're going to do that this weekend. So in order to book those 2-ball matches, you can of course use the Intelligent Golf system, and we prefer that you do that. If you can't do so, then obviously speak to the office and they will help you. You can book times 8 days in advance. That booking system's now live from about an hour ago. There are certain restrictions in number of games we can allow per week while we're in the current 2-ball model, and those are 7-day members can play 3 times per week, but only 1 of which has to be at the weekend, and 5-day members can play twice per week. Our academy members for this period will be restricted to play after 3 p.m, and all matches will start from the first tee as 18 holes. So another question you might have might be, are there any exceptions to the rules I've just set out? The answer is yes, if you're a frontline worker and restricted to opportunities because of your workload. So for example, you could only play on a Saturday morning, then we'll do what we can to accommodate that and prioritise those people, obviously. Another question that's bound to come up is, can we have visitors or guests in this initial first phase? And the answer, unfortunately, at this point is no, and that's not even for family members. We were a bit confused by Boris's messaging last weekend, but you can't bring sons, daughters, and family members in this first phase, and that's as much to do with capacity as it is health and safety at this point. So perhaps the most important section and question that people will ask will be, how do I keep myself safe and how do I keep others safe in this first phase? Well, there are a number of things to this. We will have staff acting as marshals, one in and around the car park and path area approach to the golf course, another on the first tee. We will have signs around the course that direct people to play in the safest possible manner. We're asking people, please don't arrive earlier than 15, maximum 20 minutes before your tee time. The practice net will be 1 person only at this point, so only 1 person rather than 2 can play on the practice net. We're going to space people, and you'll see this in a little example later, where we have only 1 group waiting on the putting green and 1 on the first tee at any time. Keep your clubs in the car or at home, take them home, bring them back the next time you play. Buggies are allowed, but only for single use. Bunkers are no play zones, so they won't have rakes in them, so they are out of play zones in this first phase. Avoid the pin. A lot of this is fairly obvious. We'll have upturned holes, so you shouldn't need to touch the pin to retrieve your ball. And water fountains and bins will be out of use, or in actual fact, either out of use or off the course. So feel free to bring your own refreshments and take your rubbish home with you. Just 1 or 2 final points about distancing and keeping ourselves safe. We'd prefer it if people did not cut corners, so the course will be open for 18 holes. If you choose to play less, we don't want people obviously impacting others that are on a putting green or a tee, so just common sense to be used there, please. We'd like speed of play to be maintained at a steady, reasonable pace. To that end, the professional or assistant pro will be our third marshal and will be mobile on the buggy, making sure that we're keeping pace. That avoids us having to play through each other, which creates its own issues. You probably come into contact now and again with members of the public because they've had free rein to the course for a while. Clearly, if they're walking down the fairway, then ask them to move out the way, but try to avoid any close contact or altercations and just leave that to the marshals to take care of itself. Now, on leaving the course on the 18th, we will be leaving to the right of the green, the right of the clubhouse, past the ladies' locker room and out through the gate, and that gate will always be open. You can go back into the car park, take your clubs in, pick up your car and go home, and that entry gate will also be open. The exit gate will still be on a code, and the important advice there is to wash your hands or use sanitizer before you get to that point, because it's unavoidable to use a code for that exit. Another question that might occur to you is, when are we moving to future phases, and when can we get back to something like the normality we became used to at Northwood? And the plan is to increase and relax the regulations over 2 or 3 or possibly even 4 phases. We all want to do that. It's going to be gradual, and we can't make any forecast as to when that will happen, but we all have that ambition. We'll keep that under constant review, as we will how the practicalities of the first phase are unfolding, and we'll be beholden to directions that come down from England Golf and other authorities in the game. But as soon as possible, but we can't say when, is the answer to the future phases question. And I'll just leave you really with one thought. I think the better adherence we have to the rules around this first phase, the more likely it is that the authorities will allow us to go back to 3 balls, 4 balls, roll-ups, maybe using the buggy bar and things like that in the future. Thank you very much. Okay, so Shelley and I will now give you an example, a demonstration of how it's going to work in practice, and we'll see you up here again very soon. Okay, so imagine I've arrived to play golf and my tee time is 2 p.m. I've parked in my space, but I haven't arrived before 1:45. That's very important that we maintain. Please don't arrive more than 15 minutes before your tee time. I know I have my own parking space, but you should find that there are enough spaces in the car park, because we're only playing in 2 balls, that you can park sensibly at least 2 spaces apart from each other. So please observe common sense on that front. Don't arrive too early, park sensibly. And this area, Neville here is an example of somebody who's going to be marshalling for us. So this area of the club, the car park and the pathway through to the putting green, will always have a staff marshal on hand.
So we made our way from the car park to the putting green. As you can see, there's just myself and Adam here, no one else is allowed. We're maintaining our social distancing. This is an opportunity for you to practice your putting and your chipping. So Adela's invited us onto the tee. Thank you, Adela. We've got a bit of a grudge match here. I'm going to introduce our club captain, Adam Penhale, who has the honour.
Our usual £50 for the charity?
For the charity.
Play well.
You too. Good luck.
Play well. Well, Shelley, thanks for the game. I'd love to buy you a beer. At this stage, we're not allowed to. So we're going to do the right thing in this phase of golf. We're going to leave the golf course to the right of the clubhouse and exit the gate, back onto the road, back into the car park to pick up our cars and off home.
Till the next one.
Cheers.